penis. Chris, how's it going, man? Look at that start. Kami, MX, how's it going, guys? Oh, shit. Okay, I'm genuinely getting pretty fucking good at daily games. Hold on. And time me out from your server. Oh, Bullseye. Yeah. You asked me about this, yeah. Better question. How do I do that? I don't know. It's fine. Let me find out. Just finished 7 Samurai. Oh, MX, how's it going, man? Harsh, how's it going? Our party got a dog? Yeah, I saw. Everyone was talking about killing it or eating it or something. Did you guys already see the One Piece? Yeah, that it's coming out in February of next year, and it's gonna cover approximately until they meet Sanji, right? Right around the remake. Yeah, I saw that. I don't know if there's anything beyond that. Then I don't know. Was that big me? I'll do it after I get out of bed. All right, Kami's got you then, buddy. Kami's got you. How's everyone doing? Hint, hitch. Hitch, a setback, a hiccup, Queen, holy shit, how's it going? Long time no see. I'm good, how you doing? Setback, hitch. Only do half. Yeah, that's what I thought, MX. Yeah. Whiff? Been busy? Yeah, no, I'm sure. Yeah. Oh, that's not even a fucking set. Never mind. Fucking cringe shit. Yeah, no worries. How's everything going? A suggestion, a hint, a pointer, and anyone have anything? A suggestion, a pointer, a hint, flicker? Lots of cleaning. Interesting. Fuck. So, a shiver, a sneeze, a hiccup, a whiff? Oh my fucking god. How many? Yeah, so Queen, this is connections. So there are 4 sets of words. So 4 sets of 4 that are related somehow, and you have to find like the matches, basically. Blink, sneeze, shiver, hiccup. Blink, sneeze, blink. You think so? Ah, nice. Okay, involuntary action. See. Another one I know is something to the effect of hint, suggestion, pointer, something else. We named it Fafnir. Nice, okay. Suggestion, hint, pointer. I don't know. I'm not gonna get this. Fucking, what is it? Bend, bowline? Okay, never mind. Okay, yeah, see, okay, never mind, I was off. Flicker, hint, suggestion, whiff. Oh, that's what it was. Will be 3.3 chapters per 20 minutes. Oh, that's a really good ratio. Let's move on to Lexicon. By the way, I will say it. I'll listen. Looking at easy streams, I really want to finish COI and start, what do you call it? Shadow Slave? Holy shit. Shadow Slave's got good viewership, boys. Shadow Slave's pretty good. Road path. Contribute, part. Path, road, journey. Journey, part, partial. Complete, aid, no, complete journey, finale, journey, ending, end. Story? No. I'm dragging you back to Final Fantasy. Sounds good, Queen. I know you put something in there, like they're extending the thing or something. And they're extending the... like, the extent to which the free-to-play beta is, right? Or free-to-play version is. Original was 2 chapters per episode, and that was when One Piece pacing was still relatively okay. The free trial? Nice, yeah. The trial, yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Holy shit. Ending path, ending journey. Conclusion. Fudge. Journey to the east, to the west. I don't know. Sounds good, Coin. Event? I don't know how that would help. Plan. Road trip. That's not a word. Trip. What game is this? It's called the Lexicon, Queen. So basically they give you 2 words and you have to find similar words and like make a connection between them using the definitions of words. So like aid to contribution to, or aid to contribute, contribute to part, part to plan, plan to trip, trip to road. I also want to start Shadow Slave, waiting for the German version. RA's getting unbanned, bro. Kami, Reverend Insanity's never getting unbanned. It's over. And listen, I can't fall in love with an incomplete story again. I can't do it, okay? Berserk and Vagabond have just ended me. I can't do it anymore. I can't do a third one. You don't understand. I don't have it in me. I'm tired and I'm broken and I can't keep doing this. Here. 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 If RI author made a post saying it's getting unbanned. Okay, buddy. Sounds like cope to me. That guy's probably just saying it hopefully so he can get some more traction because he's the fucking Chinese government is about to take his house or some shit. You're here. You're here. Here. Nice. Thank you, Queen. See? See? They get it. They get it. Chris gets it. Queen gets it. Listen, I know I said Reverend Insanity, and it might make Uth mad, but we'll deal with Uth. Okay, we'll figure it out. I we'll figure it out. It's okay. I'll convince Uth. It's fine. I can do it. If you guys are not on, if you guys are not on live chat, watching Uth lose his shit is so fucking funny, bro. Okay. First of all, Uth, if you recall, the contribution was for starting COI quickly, if you remember. Yes, or you might be mixing your shit up, brother. Oh, he's genuinely losing it. I figured he'd be mad, but I didn't figure he'd be that mad. Okay, hold on. This doesn't work. You think it's fine. I'll figure it out. Fucking cringe, seriously? What Uth says, bro, he gave me an ad. Like YouTube lets me individually pick like a person to get an ad. Bro, who do you think I'm the CEO of fucking YouTube? What the fuck do you think this is? He thinks like I have a button on my site to say like give Uth an ad right now. That's so peak. Even on Twitch gives you the ability to give everyone ads, but I can't just say like, oh, I'm gonna give Uth an ad right now just to fuck with them. Twitch doesn't have that. Nothing has that fun. What would be the use case of that functionality? But you know I'm not a member, so you can get me with an... Bro, members see ads too. I don't know what you're talking about. And tell the members something while I'm in an ad. Bro, Uth is genuinely like a jealous girlfriend. Holy shit. Uth, chill, buddy. It's not that serious, I promise. It's not that serious. I promise, brother. I've invested a lot in you too, Uth. Do you understand? Just for you, I have to remember every single stream to go to fucking live chat. Literally just for you, and it's been like fucking 4 months. Okay. Do I ever get shit back for that? No. I don't even get fucking thank you. Shut the fuck up, God. I'm forgetting, folk. Yeah, it's okay, Queen. Don't worry about it. Bro, where am I supposed to go here? This is cooked? This is cooked. Oh no, this is not cooked. I'm an idiot. Haha. Thank you. Just need to talk through it. And it's a free queen. I don't know. I don't know chess like at all. I hear ya. I don't know chess at all either. Whack ass game, genuinely. Here? No, that doesn't work. No. It has nothing to do with being smart, trust me. Chess is just like... Chess is kind of like the Rubik's Cube, except a little more complicated. Like, you know, everyone thinks like, oh my god, you can solve the Rubik's Cube, you're so smart. It's just like, you just gotta, it's just pattern memorization. You just gotta remember like, okay, here's how to do this or whatever. Same thing in chess. Like, once you memorize a certain number of openings or whatever, you're I don't fucking know what this is. Okay, I'm done. You can be like, you can get to like a decent-ish rating. He wouldn't lie for attention, but what if his child has some kind of sickness and he needs money to help them? Would he lie for that? Would you lie for that, Uth? I think so. I think anyone would. Doesn't make him a bad person. He has money? No, the government took it all. It's China. You gotta remember. Am I making all this up? Maybe. Shut up, who's asking. The next music. Kami, if you want, just send some music right now. We'll see if it works. If not, I can make a new room so that way it doesn't affect us later. Fuck. I should go back and forth between my room and the doors like... Oh, we got one wrong. Boys, we got a chance. Oh, I think I get him. I think I beat 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 him. I don't think he can do 4 and... I think I got him, boys. Oh my god. I got him. Wait, no, he's cooking. No, I got him. I got him. Whoo! Get fucking rolled, idiot. There's no music playing on my side. Coming now. Do you mind pasting the... Do you mind pasting the link again in the music thing? Try one more time. See if that works. If I had to play chess with your life on the line, how would you do it over fighting normally for your life? If you had to play chess with your life on... Well, like with both things, Uth, it fucking depends, right? If my option is fucking Mike Tyson in both chances, yeah, I'm taking the fucking chess game, yeah, because I beat his ass in chess a lot, but he's gonna beat my ass in thing, right? So it depends. But if you're gonna say like, oh, my opponent is like some regular ass motherfucking guy in boxing, and then it's fucking Magnus Carlsen in chess, yeah, I'm taking the guy. It depends. It depends. Most answers in life are not yay or nay, but a little more complex. Has reading 2,000 chapters of Lord of the Mysteries verse not taught you of this undeniable fact of the universe, Ruth? Where the fuck did you stop it coming? Oh shit! All right, right off the bat. Oh motherfucker, I forgot. Oh yeah, we're in the midst of shit. I forgot. Assume your opponent is 500 elo above you, and for sure a better fighter to the point that he equals 500. It's equal chances. Then I think I have to take him. Then I'll take the boxing. I'll take the boxing. In the midst of shit, genuinely. Just walk into the sun. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Uth, I defend you at every turn, and you are nothing but mean to me at every turn, you know? You used to be so nice, and it's just, we've turned so hostile nowadays. You used to be so nice. It's so sad. I have truly lost my greatest supporter. Okay. Theft. Bard pivoted on his heels, fixing his eyes on the door. A moment lingered in silence, but no one rapped against the wooden barrier. The once present soft footsteps in the corridor now faded. As a seasoned beyonder, Bard dismissed the notion of hallucination. Returning to the servant's bed, he grabbed the backpack containing the spoils of the year, feigning an escape from the governor's residence before confirming the outcome of the ritual. Such precautions were only sensible. Not everyone placed trust in Juan's promises. Bard slung the backpack over his shoulders and opened the window, aiming to slip into the weeds below. Suddenly, a figure standing over a meter tall emerged from the shadows in the corner. Its disproportionately large head and wrinkled face identified it as a little devil. The little devil gestured for Bard to close the window. Just a bunch of creatures with low IQ, Bard thought, mocking them inwardly. Despite generations, they had yet to master Highlander and could barely communicate like dogs. Maintaining a timid expression, Bard closed the window. Having tested the waters, he had a rough idea of where the sea spawn responsible for monitoring him were. None of them appeared to have any connection to the soft footsteps echoing in the corridor, nor did they seem aware of them. Alright, bye, Queen! On the boat, Mad Lady, draped in a blood-colored dress with a portion of her face showing pure flesh and blood, vanished upon spotting Mr. K and Lumion. Simultaneously, a figure materialized behind her to her side. Lumion and Mr. K. Employing their teleportation abilities, they blocked Mad Lady. After Mad Lady shifted to the opposite side of the deck, the corners of her mouth curled up. Her eyes gleamed with anticipation. Come and attack me. Chase me. This way, no one will use the item that honored the ancestors to steal the power about to erupt. Let's see who reacts fastest and teleports out first. For those unable to escape, they would undoubtedly be torn to pieces, much like the fate of those who befell others on the ship. As these thoughts raced through her mind, Mad Lady turned transparent, evading Lumion's crimson-white fireballs and Mr. K's light-green wind blades. Amidst the rumbling, Ultraman was equally infuriated by Mad Lady's actions. If he were still the temporary and complete governor of the sea, he wouldn't fear the impact of the power. He hadn't intended to release Mad Lady and use Bard's silver ring. However, the situation had changed. Juan, burning his life and sacrificing his flesh, had contested him for the authority of the sea. In this state, Ultraman couldn't be certain if he was fully protected or if he would suffer some backlash. Furthermore, not being a true demigod, he wasn't sure if he could withstand such a blow, one that only left him injured. He couldn't help but urge Mad Lady with his eyes. His companion was teleporting and didn't have the time to meet his gaze. The humanoid sealed artifact remained immersed in distant chanting in the darkness. In the blink of an eye, the corporeal starlight surged from the grey behemoth at the bottom of the sea, followed the condensed energy passageway, and struck the betrothal ship with a tsunami-like sound, aiming to devour everything. Here it comes, Mad Lady prepared for her escape. Confronted with the immense starlight, Lumion asked, Lumion's initial reaction was, why is there another sea's fury? Relying on his combat instincts, he immediately extended his spirituality to the Lie Earring, activating the high-level stealing power. The starlight in his eyes took on a more tangible form, as if it had materialized. Lumion raised his left hand, suddenly twisting it. The starlight surging from the behemoth changed its course, rushing towards Lumion in waves, engulfing the sky and the sea. This was even more terrifying than the previous sea's rage. At that moment, Lumion felt as if the apocalypse had truly descended. He knew well that he couldn't absorb all the power himself. Doing so would render him unable to endure, crushed, indirectly aiding Termiboros in escaping. Fortunately, the power linked to honoring the ancestors had the ability to disperse the boon obtained and share it with all present, and all those with the sea bloodline in Port Santa. Though a bit greedy and reluctant, Lumion restrained himself, and without hesitation, he opened his hand, seemingly grasping something and twisting his wrist. And the starlight that had darkened the sea and the sky seemed to explode, scattering starlight in every direction. "The stars are raining," Franca lamented. She clutched the Major Arcana card belonging to Judgment in her hand. This wasn't a plea for Judgment to descend directly. After all, this wasn't her jurisdiction. It was to signal the location for the other Major Arcana holders who had already gathered. The beams of starlight left dazzling trails as they penetrated the bodies of those nearby and soared to the bloodline connections far away. Lumion couldn't control this, so he could only sense a portion of the starlight landing on him, causing his left chest to burn and corrode his flesh, simultaneously gaining a significant amount of starlight being drawn towards the potent sea bloodline and the authority of the Governor of the Sea surging towards Ultraman and Juan. Undoubtedly, the humanoid artifact received the most boons. Interesting. Like the eye of a vortex, she incessantly absorbed the surrounding starlight. Even the starlight heading towards Hela's boat diminished unnoticeably. Ultraman experienced a replenishment, breaking free from his weakened state after Juan's beams, swiftly reclaiming the authority of the Governor. In this moment of elation, Ultraman felt more surprise and confusion. How could Lumion steal the power? That requires a high-level stealing ability. Hasn't Bard's Ring already been placed on the altar to honor the ancestors? Isn't the enchantment only possible once a year? Wait, so... But they were stealing it like every month or something, no? So, how did Lumion get such a power? I would have thought like the Lie Earring's stealing ability would have been much weaker than the one they have, but it seems to be like on equal ground. Amidst the wave, Lato couldn't be bothered to ponder the answer. His reaction was to swiftly crush Juan. Otherwise, how did Lumion do it? He like snuck in there and then like placed a whole bunch of shit on the altar, and like none of them did anything except for the Lie Earring. Didn't it say somewhere, Chris, that like the April Fool... I might be making this up. Didn't the April Fools say that like every month they would steal its power to make sure that it couldn't create enough power at the end of the year when the fucking sea people came to do it? Am I making that up? I might be. Gazing at Lato, he smiled, a smile of relief, yearning, and anger. His body underwent a transformation, his eyes turning vertical, scales growing and limbs thickening. He morphed into a lizard. And during this process, Lato condensed a dark green light that descended on Juan. Juan no longer made an attempt to dodge it, he endured it. His aura weakening precisely as he desired. The lizard-like form faded, growing increasingly translucent. Then Juan merged into the void, representing the sea, and spoke to Lato. I have returned to the sea. Come quickly, too. At the very last words, Juan gnashed his teeth, not concealing his deep-seated hatred. Every child of the sea was prepared to return, and Juan was no exception. He just hadn't anticipated doing so like this. His sole desire now was for Lato to join him. Lato's figure dissipated, becoming entirely a part of the sea. Lato immediately sensed a growing animosity between his title as the governor and the waters. The harmony that once existed had given way to resistance. This indicated that the governor of the sea's authority he had acquired wouldn't be complete for a time. Damn that guy, Lato cursed. He had realized that Hela was the sole demigod on the sailboat. That humanoid artifact had been received a boon from the sea and escaped the influence of the chanting was sufficient to hold her off. It allowed him to focus on dealing with Lumion and his ally. Despite being an incomplete governor of the sea, he possessed enough strength to control adversaries below demigods briefly and gain entry to the spaceship. Moreover, Mad Lady's assistance only added to his advantage. Having received the boon, Lumion contemplated his newfound abilities. Now, I seem qualified to contend for the authority of the governor as well. How many fucking authorities is Lumion gonna get, bro? This motherfucker, he is gonna be the most corrupted motherfucker that... He is like the... What was that, like, king of, like, Libya or some shit that had, like, gold-plated toilets while his country was, like, in fucking ruin? That's genuinely fucking, Lumion. Everyone else is, like, losing his shit, and this motherfucker is just collecting all of the powers like they're Pokemon cards. Like, he's completing his fucking Rolodex. Although I can't be considered to possess the sea bloodline and only wield some power of the sea, far inferior to Ultraman, my fake level is plenty. I'm at the level of an angel. The fuck are we even talking about? Just as Ultraman and Lumion responded swiftly, the gray sky brightened. Thick blue-green vines descended, enshrouding two ships. Vines? Queen Mystic? Oh, no, it's not... Oh. Wait, Queen Mystic? Enshrouding the two ships and the surrounding area in torrential rain. Soon intertwining into a giant-like forest growing. Or could it be Cat Leia? It might be Cat Leia now that I'm thinking about it, eh? They said 2 major arcanas, right? So maybe Justice and Hermit, I guess? They said 2, right? I'm not making that up. It could be Bernadette, but it just seems more likely to be Cat Leia. Queen Mystic, it feels like she's too high level for this. Her showing up would just be like a catastrophe. For the enemies, of course. Upon witnessing the descent of the vines, Lumion marveled as if a real carriage could traverse through the expanse. It felt like a journey back to a scene from a few years ago when he would listen to his sister's night tales. Aaron, how's it going, man? They stole it once at the beginning of the year, I think. Oh, I see. Wallflower, how's it going, man? The dazzling, dreamlike scene and boundless imagination seemed to materialize at that moment. Lato sensed the danger. The individual capable of such an effect couldn't be a lower mid-sequence beyonder. They had to be a saint. Perhaps even beyond sequence 4. Another formidable demigod. Who could it be? Where are they from? This isn't Gandalf. While others might be unaware, Loki had thoroughly investigated the president, discovering he was of the warrior pathway. A warrior with a penchant for research and mysticism. A nerd warrior? Cringe. In the blink of an eye, Lato spotted a black shadow racing down the vines. An enormous pumpkin drawn by numerous grey mice. A hole atop the carriage resembled a coach. Within, a vaguely discernible woman sat, adorned in purple robes, crystalline heels adorning her feet. Shit. The pumpkin coach, mice-drawn carriage, and crystal heels. What the fuck is that? Who could it be, Lato thought, and he couldn't help but curse with the same words he used most frequently. Isn't that fucking Cinderella? Did Roselle pen this fairy tale? Why didn't it get traction? Dude, imagine you're doing like your master plan you've been researching for a year and putting shit into action. Who comes to stop you? Fucking Cinderella shows up. You're like, bro, ain't no fucking way. I'm gonna lose to Cinderella. He's like, this celestial worthy is about to get his plans broken up by Cinderella. For a moment, Lato grappled with the uncertainty, unable to discern whether the newcomer was a demigod aligned with another faction or a concealed powerhouse within the research society. Regaining his composure, he cured his ill fortune and prepared himself for a confrontation with the enigmatic demigod. Luckily, being a governor of the sea, he could at least temporarily impede the other party. Prior to this clash, Ultraman had turned his gaze towards Mad Lady. He didn't have time to speak, but his eyes sent an unspoken message. Hurry up! Mad Lady grasped his urgency with a blink and positioned herself at the entrance of the energy passageway. However, instead of materializing there, she outlined her presence. This decision was prompted by the sudden appearance of Lumion and Mr. K, seemingly having teleported too, with their sights set on the energy passageway. Whether the imposing weight of the sealed artifact or Lato raising his hand, conjuring a mountain azure wave, the water around the cave swayed, teetering on the brink of collapse. At that moment, Cinderella, seated in her carriage, pushed open the door and rose to her feet. She extended her arms and a massive iron-black cross materialized behind her. The weight of the cross proved challenging for Cinderella to bear, though it carried the concentration of sins of the entire world. We got Cinderella Jesus here saving the day. Bro, Cinderella Jesus. That is something I never thought I would say. A cross? Lato was caught off guard yet again. As an empty room materialized before him. Within the room, candlelight flickered, revealing a long table adorned with flesh and blood. On either side, three obscure figures hunched over, gnawing and feasting on a gruesome banquet. They turned their heads, gazing on Lato. He stood frozen as their gazes penetrated his deepest secrets, dismantling them to the essential components of his spirit and flesh. A chilling sensation surged from Lato's heart, alerting him to the intense and terrifying malice. However, the source of this malevolence wasn't the newly arrived demigod, but the behemoth trapped at the sea bottom. The very spaceship Lato had sought to obtain harbored ill intents against him. Dude, you're getting fucking rolled here. In the blink of an eye, the behemoth retracted its authority. Lato's status as the governor plummeted. Despite gaining a new boon, he couldn't ascend to a demigod level. The spaceship had betrayed him. This treachery was a result of the spell Cinderella had just unleashed, the Feast of Betrayal. The Feast of Betrayal, that's all the angels, not all of them, but the angels eating the ancient sun god's body, right? That's the Feast of Betrayal? I'm not making that up. Its purpose was to temporarily awaken or bestow intelligence on a target item, compelling it to commit an act of betrayal. Lato had seemingly melded within the waves, harnessing the authority of the governor of the sea on a temporary basis. The spaceship now stood as an entity he had yet to master. Objects beyond his control were primary candidates for betrayal. Cinderella astutely sensed this vulnerability, initiating the Feast of Betrayal. That has the effect of people betraying their ally. Hell yeah. Simultaneously, the sealed environment provided the perfect condition for her to unleash this magic. In that moment, surprise and fear flooded Lato as though a frigid cascade had drenched him. Since merging with the sea and gaining the authority of the sea god, the governor of the sea's authority, Lato had believed that an ordinary sequence 4 or even 3 couldn't overpower him. Oof. This belief created a sense of parity, but it hinged on him remaining within the waters to unleash his power. Yet Cinderella's mere magic stripped him of this authority, relegating him to a mere mid-sequencer. Despite being a dual sequence 5 of a potion and boon system with numerous abilities, Lato harbored doubts about facing a genuine demigod. As you should, bro. You're about to get fucking steamrolled. A demigod shaped from an item proves fragile in the face of a true demigod. So brittle that once targeted, they wouldn't even endure a breath. Lato grappled with the stark realization of the fragility of a true demigod. At that moment, this grey behemoth trembled, causing the energy passageway to flicker and cast its luminescence on Lato. With a whoosh, Lato found himself hurtling uncontrollably to the spaceship. This was a facet of the spaceship calculated betrayal, aiming to turn the recent authority holder into a mere I'm genuinely having a stroke. Nutritive substrate within a petri dish. Nutritive meaning as in nutrition. Yeah, okay. Lato was initially startled, but a wave of joy washed over him. An opportunity had presented itself, a chance to escape. As Lato and despair had suddenly transformed, his misfortune and despair had transformed into an opportunity. Observing the scene, Lumina wasted no time employing his spirit world traversal, reaching the entrance of the passageway, stepping in, and soaring into the behemoth. Mad Lady followed close behind, and Mr. K didn't intervene, instead following suit. Bro, stop her. What are you doing, Mr. K? Milo Village. Governor of the Sea's residence, Bard, strategizing an escape plan, was interrupted by cheers. Cheers, his heart stirred, prompting him to dash out of the servant's room to the nearest glass window. There he observed gathering villagers. Not a single sea spawn hindered the former governor during the process. Many villagers raised their hands welcoming the waves as they praised the sea. The ritual succeeded. It succeeded! That's right, it succeeded, Bard smiled. From the looks of it, we have succeeded. The April Fool key member adjusted the collar of his shirt and hoisted a brown backpack onto his shoulders. With an unbanished smile, he strolled into the grand hall of the governor's residence, making his way out. This time, he encountered no resistance. The guards stationed at the entrance knelt on the ground, expressing gratitude to the scene. Bard took a detour to the docks, reveling in genuine joy and praise. Every time he heard the townsfolk praising the sea and witnessing genuine smiles, his spirits lifted. These fools, they are celebrating a catastrophe. This is a prank on all of you. Bard closed his eyes in satisfaction, weaving through the crowd. His ultimate destination, the peaks of the Pyrez mountain range. As a former swindler, Bard orchestrated the sea prayer ritual operation, serving as its main planner. The plan's success brought him great satisfaction. Crucially, despite taking the most pivotal step in the entire operation, he assumed the least risk and exposure, avoiding direct confrontation. Navigating through a mix of the ancient and modern structures in Milo Village, his brows furrowed, a sense of unease settled upon him. Per the plan, Ultraman, unhindered by strong opposition, was supposed to use the second command to open the energy passageway. Relying on his temporary authority as the governor, he aimed to secure himself and Mad Lady within him. Seizing the opportunity, he planned to eliminate all present and inflict severe injuries on potential demigod adversaries. If demigods like Hela emerge and prove resistance to the humanoid artifact, Ultraman, The interim governor would leap into action, confronting the enemy head-on. Mad Lady, wielding the ring, would harness the power emanating from the spaceship, turning it into a boon for all present, extending it to the reach of all children of the sea. This move would not only allow them to sidestep danger, but also grant them access to the spaceship. Despite the fact that the people had already received the sea's boon and a few minutes had elapsed, the spaceship remained dormant. What had happened? With this question, Bart hastened his footsteps. And behind him, the faint sound of footsteps echoed yet again. I have to imagine this is just Audrey just watching him going, I'll kill you when I feel like it. She's like, you can hear my footsteps? Yeah, that's on purpose. If I didn't want you to, you wouldn't know shit, brother. Beware the fucking spectator, idiot. I don't know if that's the case, but that's my headcanon, okay? Let me have this. Although I'm not sure if Audrey would lower herself to be, following a single fucking person of April Fools. I don't know. Port Santo. Loki and the unconscious Ludwig had already sought refuge in an apartment that Loki had rented many days earlier. He began manipulating the sealed demigod's spirit body threads. As for his two marionettes, they lurked within a radius of 100 to 200 meters with Loki as its center, blending in with the various celebrations and crowds. They waited to be discovered by Lumin's teammates and the clergyman. This was unavoidable. A marionettist couldn't allow a marionette to wield their faceless power. As for the mystical item of the seer pathway, it was in possession of either Bard or Mad Lady. In the partial destroyed suite of the motel, Jenna and Anthony encountered Noelia, the combat nun. Before this, Lumion had covertly introduced the disguised Jenna and Anthony to Noelia, hence the nun didn't necessarily question or apprehend them. Rubio Paco is a fake. He's disguised by a marionettist. He has captured Louis Barry's godson. He possesses two marionettes. One is Madame Martha, and the other's identity and abilities are unknown. She assumed the Fertility Order was familiar with the term marionettist and didn't have to delve into the explanations. Their duty was to safeguard the Intus Republic to the north, and many official Beyonders of Bureau 8 belonged to the Seer pathway. They must have had some interactions. Marionettist, Noelia frowned. That's a traitor from Bureau 8, Jenna explained. Her allegiance to Inta is stronger than Lumion's. Why did he seize Louis Barry's godson? A hostage? Or does he have some significance? Jenna thought for a moment and said, it's a sealed demigod. Loki will need substantial time to turn it into a marionette, not just a matter of minutes. A demigod? That child with the insatiable appetite as a demigod? Noelia's mouth hung open. She questioned the reliability of her own ears. The supposed godson of the adventurer is its sealed demigod creature? What's his background? Why is he just wandering around? Moreover, there's talk of a humanoid sealed artifact rumored to be at a grade 1 that surfaced recently. It's on par with a demigod level creature, but no one's been able to locate it. If not for the discrepancies in appearance, Noelia would have suspected Ludwig to be that creature. Now, an absurd idea echoed in her mind. Is the current trend to stroll around with a demigod creature? Regaining her composure, Noelia addressed her teammates. Samil, quickly return to the order and inform the Dean. Ask her to employ all available personnel to the city. Locate them ASAP. Yes, Madame Martha or Ludwig. After finding them, unless the situation is exceptionally urgent, refrain from acting recklessly. Report first. Considering that the marionettist had likely altered his appearance and height and the identity and appearance of the other marionette was unknown, Noelia concentrated her search on Madame Martha and Ludwig. Yes, Captain. Samil darted through the shattered glass window to avoid wasting time, utilizing the stone bricks and wood protruding from the wall. The Dean Noelia referred to as the head of the local cloister, the clergyman overseeing the Fertility Order. Just as Samil took a few steps and was about to explore the streets, Jenna, Anthony, and Noelia and the others witnessed a massive bird soaring through the air. The bird's body was grayish-black, its feathers tough and lacked softness. The grayish-black bird flapped its wings and glided and glided to the fifth floor of the motel. Only then did they realize that the bird was sculpted from stone, weighty and substantial. Perched on the back of the lifeless bird was a woman in brown clergyman robes, wearing a nun's wimple with wheat patterns that seemed to be in her 30s, exuding a maternal aura. The woman turned her gaze to Noelia and succinctly stated, "Details." Noelia echoed Jenna's words and positioned herself, spreading her arms and legs. "Praise the earth, praise the mother of all things." The clergyman was none other than the Archbishop of the Earth Mother Gaia Diocese, Agrippina. Agrippina? I don't know. I feel like I should roll my R. This feels like a Italian word. Agrippina. I don't know. Agrippina nodded and said, "I know Martha from the Paco family. I didn't expect her to meet such a fate. May the mother embrace her soul. May the flowers symbolizing her bloom again next spring." The archbishop delicately shifted her right foot, conveying a signal to the massive bird. The bird, pulsating with vitality, flapped its wings and ascended dozens of meters into the sky. Agrippa, extending a right hand and scattering a handful of dark black seeds the size of rice grains. With a flutter, the seabirds flocked in, covering the sky, each one gripping a seed and circling. They formed a circle with a 300-meter radius. What the fuck? Observing this, the jubilant citizens of Port Santa, assuming the seabirds had joined in the celebrations, erupted in cheers. After 2 or 3 minutes, a solitary combat nun spotted Madame Martha, the marionettist. Upon receiving the information, Agrippa turned her head and fixed her gaze into the air. Soon, the white-headed seabirds released... Holy shit. Released the rice-sized seeds from their beaks. Agrippa extended her gaze and folded her arms across her chest. Each seed that touched the ground instantly sprouted and rapidly grew. Simultaneously, Jenna, Anthony, Noelia, and the others who were scouring the streets for Ludwig and Loki witnessed the sky darken, as if night had prematurely descended, or a colossal creature had eclipsed the sunlight. Vaguely, they sensed the presence of a pitch-black wing covered in membrane, casting an aura. Bug, how's it going, man? In the next moment, a crimson moon ascended from the night, hanging in the sky. It seemed as though a tall, slender figure was advancing slowly. The moonlight bathed in the area around by dark green vines, captivating all citizens. Nourished by the moonlight, the vines rapidly expanded, encasing the streets around Aquinas Street in a forest. The dark red flowers blossomed in the forest, the flowers emitting a faint, sweet fragrance. Upon inhaling the fragrance, the residents of Port Santa, as well as the rats and bedbugs in the area, entered a stupor, collapsing. Damn it, Jenna understood the Archbishop was slowly employing the indiscriminate tactics to influence the area, aiming to locate and control Loki. This gaseous anesthetic jogged unpleasant memories. In the past, she had nearly fallen victim to a similar gas by that pervert. Yet now, in the diffusing gas with a noticeable difference in smell and a similar effect, her head began to spin. The same was true for Anthony and Noelia. One bore dragon-like scales on his skin while the other held her breath. At that moment, three white-headed seabirds descended from the sky, each clutching a metallic bottle. Noelia glanced at the Archbishop, who was hovering in midair, and received a nod. She took the bottle and gulped it down, regaining consciousness, no longer affected by the gas. Observing this, Jenna and Anthony did the same. The 3 white-headed seabirds weakly ascended again, landing by the roadside and dozing off. Bro, those birds are kind of goated though. They delivered them the antidote and then passed out themselves. They said, "This is my last help to you, Captain. After this, I'm gonna pass out." In the apartment he had pre-rented, Loki was taken aback to discover that controlling the sealed artifact's demigod threads was much more challenging than he figured. This wasn't a problem that could be resolved in 10 minutes. It would take at least an hour. Given the time, the church would just turn the streets upside down. As the anesthetic marked created by the dark green vines and flowers permeated the room, Loki's impulse was to craft an air straw nearly 30 meters long and extended high to the air, but he dismissed the idea. Perhaps the demigod of the church was waiting to detect something similar. Moreover, Loki realized there was more than one demigod in the sky. If there was only one, he could rely on artifacts, bestowments, and other means to concentrate. He could conceal himself in the shadows and contend. More importantly, if he could endure for about 10 minutes, but an hour was out of the question. After weighing the pros and cons, Loki abandoned his original plan to conduct the ritual today and advanced to sequence 4. In any case, as long as he could restrain the sealed demigod, he could find another opportunity in the future. Why would it take an hour or more? Is this a demigod's spirit body threads? Amidst Loki's confusion, he didn't intend to oh yeah, I guess he doesn't know what Ludwig is. He just said he just thought, this kid's weird, I gotta see what's up with him, not realizing, bro, this guy might be a fucking angel. He planned, I still think Ludwig is an angel. I know they keep saying demigod, but I feel like he's an angel. I feel like Cuttlefish is doing a lot of mirroring of book 1, and if that's the case, he's like our Will Ossipton. From his pocket, he retrieved a bracelet made of different colored gems. Just as Loki was about to activate a diamond, he heard the sound of swallowing. Loki lowered his head and looked into his arms, and realizing that Ludwig had awakened. With a sincere expression, the boy spoke, "I'm hungry." No. Oh my fucking god, of course this fucking bum's gotta show up now. Cringe shit, boys. Cringe shit. He's here. Ugh. Around the ship and the sailboat, thick turquoise vines cascaded from the sky. Entwining, they created a road leading to various destinations. Cinderella returned to the coach, pulled by grey mice swiftly descending through the vines. They approached the energy passageway formed by pure light, as if about to enter the silver behemoth. Abruptly, the mischief of the mice came to a halt. Cinderella wore a solemn expression. Cinderella sensed an unusual, perilous presence. Can I just call her fucking cat? Just calling her Cinderella is getting annoying. Sensed a perilous presence within the behemoth. It remained motionless, as if deep in slumber or long dead. However, in either case, her intuition warned her not to approach. Staring at the passageway where Lumen and company had vanished, she deliberated before shifting her focus to the sailboat. With Mr. Fool's seal on the Wand of Seven and the sealed evil god's angel, he didn't have to worry about the problem even she must be wary of. As long as he didn't directly encounter things or enter the core area, he should be fine. As for the other one, he seemed to be a shepherd, so he didn't mind being a little bit crazier. Cat Leia observed the mast and shipboard of the sailboat cracking under the terrifying suction of the sealed artifact. She was ready to make her move when she retrieved a roselle chess piece from her purple coin bag and hurled it at the target. Amidst the howling wind, the queen chess piece soared towards the artifact, accompanied by various items. As it descended, the artifact's steps towards the sailboat slowed as if time itself was warping around. It was one of the spells of Cinderella, the chessboard of ages. It had the power to decelerate the target as it entered an area where time moved at a different speed. Seizing the opportunity presented by the sluggish movement, Cattleya closed her eyes and transformed into a humanoid phantom, collapsing into a coffin. The eyelids of the artifact drooped, as if she may succumb to sleep at any moment. Sleeping Beauty magic. Witnessing this, Hela, aboard the sailboat, once again activated the Evernight Pathway's ability to drag people into a dream. Although the notarization wouldn't immediately expire with Ultraman's loss of the governor's authority, it would still last till the end. But the ability to be invalidated by notarization wasn't entirely ineffective. It would only be weakened. Its effects would be reduced, but now the artifact was already close to fatigued, swaying on the verge of falling asleep. In this state, entering a dream would be much easier. The artifact closed her eyes and plunged into a deep slumber, entering a somewhat sorrowful dream. On the sailboat, a dense darkness surged, enveloping a humanoid artifact resonating with a distant voice that brought peace and tranquility. Akin to a mother reciting a poem to lull her child to sleep. The artifact, still in her black nun attire, hovered in midair as her eyes shut tightly, descending slowly, landing gracefully on the deck. Her brow relaxed and her face softened, and water droplets formed at the corner of her eyes. The maidens of the sea, the deputy hosts, and the sailors, blessed by the sea and adorned by starlight scales, swiftly settled into darkness, succumbing to sleep. Franca, within the sailboat, was taken aback. Is that Cinderella? Jack and the Beanstalk? Sleeping Beauty? What the fuck is going on here? Two demigods working together are incredibly formidable. They subdued that artifact. I want to be a demigod. A demoness demigod would do, I guess. Regaining her senses, Franca concealed herself and sprinted out the sailboat. Utilizing her run-up and assassin's featherfall, she leapt onto the betrothal ship, intending to approach the energy passageway. Within the behemoth, Lumion traversed the energy passageway, finding himself not in the metal beehive he had seen before. Walking on the silvery white floor, he noticed a hall dozens of meters long and 20 or 30 meters wide. In the middle of the hall, Ultraman stood, shouting in delight. He shouted. This represented the first half of the command to activate the spaceship. But there was no response. Fuck, it still holds ill intent against me. This malice stems from that demigod's ability, but it shan't be too long. As long as I stall for time, I should be able to regain control. Can the artifact hold back two demigods? Or should I rely on the ship's internal layout to play hide and seek? At that moment, through the translucent metal on the other side, he saw Cinderella come to a halt near the energy passageway. As expected, she doesn't dare enter. Before the mission kicked off, Loki had set up an altar and sought guidance from Celestial Worthy through divination. The response contains a high risk for high-ranking individuals, avoidable by entering the spaceship. Loki decoded this was a warning about Hela and Gandalf, as well as the saint from the Church of the Earth Mother. These individuals were the primary threats, but if he took the reign of a sci-fi ship, he believed he could outmaneuver them. And now Lata noticed that even without absolute control, they hesitated. Facing something capable of unsettling a demigod left him uneasy, but armed with the spaceship's command and password, he could soon turn the threat to his advantage. As Lumion was on the brink of teleporting behind Ultraman, they both heard a metallic clang. A silver door descended, sealing off the hall's entrance and exit. The walls, ceiling, and floors transformed as metal surfaces shifted, revealing dark pipe-out openings. Out gushed cerulean blue gas. Cerulean? Poison gas. Lato's heart raced. The spaceship, still imbued with malice, not only resisted control, but emanated lethal intent, seeking to eliminate him. The magic of the demigod is malicious indeed. Lumen perceived this as an instinctive strike from the behemoth against intruders. He tapped to the power of the sea, aiming to provoke the temporary authority of the governor to counteract it. He could sense Ultraman had lost the position of the governor after the attack from Cinderella, with no prospect of reclaiming it. With no contenders for authority, Lumion anticipated an easy acquisition, yet the waters resisted. It seemed the malice was directed at anyone attempting control. Undeterred, Lumion shifted his attention back to Ultraman. Lato's heart stirred as he said, "You wanna fight here? If we don't break out, we're gonna fucking die!" In this moment, a plan to escape and relocate became paramount, seeking vengeance in a safe place. Lumion flexed his wrist, donning his boxing gloves. "I don't give a shit about my death. All that matters is that I bring you down." As the words left his lips, crimson flames bordering on white erupted from his entire being, as if cloaked in a fiery shroud. Not far from Lumion, Lato, Mad Lady, and Mr. K found themselves in a beehive-like metal room, unable to enter the hall ahead. Surveying the surroundings, Mr. K's gaze swept across the incubating black insects, little devils, and the other creatures. It is indeed the power of an evil god, the spawn of an evil god. Well done, Lumion. This is all part of God's arrangements. Oh, Mr. K's gonna go jerk off to Lumion later. Amidst the hoarse voice, Aurora Oracle turned his gaze back to Mad Lady. Mad Lady wasn't intimidated, and instead applauding. That's right, it's cool, isn't it? This is a spaceship. At that moment, Mad Lady and Mr. K vanished and reappeared behind where the other party were standing, as if they negotiated a position switch. Kami, would you say you can't say that on television? Inside the spaceship, Lumion, enveloped by flames, transformed into a fireball hurtling towards Ultraman. He remained composed, holding his breath and thrusting his palm forward. Lumion instantly sensed an invisible force resisting him, causing the fireball to decelerate. Seizing the moment, Lato raised his right hand, clenching it into a fist. A ball of pure sunlight, condensed and compressed, morphing into a thick laser aimed at Lumion. This ability resulted from merging the Sun Pathway and the Sea Boon, utilizing the power of the Sun Pathway to propel the Sea Boon's weakening ray, though it no longer altered the target's body, causing one's negative effects. Its penetration and melting effects were significantly enhanced. In the enclosed, gas-filled environment, with the constant threat of malice, Lato sought to conclude the battle quickly. At laser speed, the sunray struck the crimson fireball, melting a hole in it. Yet the fireball lost its structure and exploded. Yet Lumion was nowhere amongst the remnants. He seemed to have vanished. Simultaneously, he appeared behind him, adorning the Lie Earring. Lumion initially transformed into a fireball and soared towards Lato, intending to force him to use his Beyonder powers, allowing him to fix his original location, not shifting prematurely, causing an opportunity to teleport behind him. Having faced the Bestowed of the Sea before, Lumion was aware of Lato's ability to manipulate the weight or flotation of objects. To use the Spirit World Traversal in his fireball form, Lumion used the Lie Earring's flame control ability. As his figure materialized, he opened his mouth and said, "Ha!" Lato didn't have time to turn, sensing the impending doom. A skill obtained from deciphering the language of the stars beyond our power. Specks of starlight emerged from his eyes. He identified several passageways in the silver hall suffused with the blue gas, imperceptible to the ordinary. Hastily choosing one, he pounced over. Simultaneously, uncertain of evading the attack from behind, Lato infused his surroundings with layers of golden light. The purification halo of a Sequence 5 Priest of Light. Amidst the harumph, the pale yellow beam swept past Lato. This is the first time anyone's ever avoided that combination attack. Teleport behind and harumph has like 100% success rate, right up until now. Ultraman Hold on. I might have spoken too early. Amidst the harumph, the pale yellow beam swept past Lato's back. Hidden somewhere in the void, the key member of April Fool's, Ultraman, fainted. But its momentum remained. He continued into the illusory passageway hidden from ordinary eyes, traversing space and dimensions. Lumion, within 2 meters, couldn't teleport away in time and was enclosed by the purification halo. His heart ached as if something sought to tear out his body. Faintly, he heard the illusory ravings of the entity known as Inevitability, Mr. Fool, or both. Unclear but unsettling, this made Lumion's brain feel like it was being pulled out of his skull. Despite an ascetic's endurance, he couldn't help but groan, collapsing. A similar experience occurred in his Cordu dream, a reaction from being sprinkled by Valentine's holy water. Lato's purification halo had evolved from a harmless to a partial holy sun water effect, exorcising evil spirits. As Lato lay unconscious, the halo vanished in a flash, similarly, only partially dispelling the poisonous gas. Similarly, the unconscious Lato couldn't have progressed through the illusory passageway, breaking free and falling 3 or 4 meters in front of Lumion. The impact left him in pain, slowly regaining consciousness. At that moment, Lumion slowly recovered from the intense pain. Lato, just waking up, still uncertain of the situation, attempted to re-enter the illusory passageway to put some distance between him and Lumion. Upon crawling back to the hall through the exit of the illusory passageway, Lumion had already raised his hand and regained composure. Observing this, Lato felt neither pity, disappointment, nor regret. He was surprised. It's effective. The halo is effective against Lumion. After confirming the adventurer Louis was indeed Lumion, Lato contemplated how to fight him. It was simple. With the authority of the governor, he could repeatedly cast the other party into the cosmic void, making him lose himself. But without the authority, he had to exploit other abilities. Lumion's unique characteristics were clear, possessing a sealed power of the same origins as the Celestial Worthy, with a high-ranking creature within. Beyonders in this state often had a false high status and enjoyed numerous conveniences, but were susceptible to the Sun Pathway's abilities. I'm your natural counter, Lumion. Lato wasn't certain about the effectiveness of the Sun Halo, Cleave of Purification, and other abilities. Nor was he sure of the Purification Halo's potency. The only certainty lay in the effectiveness of the holy sun water he could create. Therefore, if the Halo proved ineffective against Lumion, he would produce holy water. Looking at Lumion, Lato smiled again, dyeing the surroundings golden yet again. This environment was ideal for employing the Halo. It denied Lumion a chance to distance himself or to teleport closer. The entire hall was basically enveloped by the Halo. Furthermore, in the spaceship there was no fear of Lumion losing control and becoming a monster, unleashing the creature within. An intruder at this level would trigger the spaceship's automatic defenses, targeting him. Didn't your sister tell you something Roselle once said? If you rely on something to obtain specialness and become stronger, you'll be punished by it. Upon seeing the golden light, Lumion raised his hand and vanished. Where's he going? As long as he's in the hall, he can't avoid the Halo, Lato thought. Unless Lumion chose to leave the hall, it was impossible for him to not be affected by the Halo. With the barrier raised, the door closed and the place sealed. If Lumion wanted to teleport out, he first had to destroy the walls or metal door. No one knew what the spaceship would unleash in the next hall. This was also an advantage to Lato. Layer after layer of halos drowned Lumion's location, but nothing happened. What? Where did he go? Is his ability unaffected by the ceiling? Or has he gone into hiding? Lato's heart skipped a beat as he raised his right hand and pulled. The void in the hall stirred, unveiling an abnormal area nestled between two walls, creating an unstable space and hiding inside to avoid the Halo. True. The Halo's purpose is to exercise and provide courage. Without the substantial offensive power, it can't destroy the structure of that place. Clever. Lato saw through Lumion's trick, raising his hand and condensing a dark green ray. Aaron, how's it going? Instantly, he harnessed basic control of gravity to pull at the place. The dark green ray struck the spot where it had been pulled, instantly penetrating and obliterating the structure, silently shattering. The ray continued forward, hitting the full-body armor with its back turned to Lato. The ray, now weakened, faded away. Oh shit, he put on the armor. He said, fuck it, boys, if I'm gonna get betrayed, I'm gonna get betrayed. We're pulling this bitch out. Let's go. Two pairs of eyes suddenly locked onto Lato. In the next moment, it charged at Lato, forming a broadsword of light. As the silver-white body armor rushed out, Lumine's figure emerged in the corner. He had utilized the terrain to arrange a simple bottle of fiction, using a large hole that emitted poisonous gas as a symbolic window. His goal was twofold: one, to evade the Halo, and second, to position the Pride armor with its back facing to Halo. He didn't put it on? Yet this cursed target may only target someone standing in a certain distance behind it, but it may not. What if that person stood more than 10 meters behind it, but also attempted to stab it in the back? The answer was now clear. Lumine had a capable helper, unafraid of the Halo. The armor can just fight on its own? Alright, bro. Who am I to judge? I don't think so, Kami. I thought... Oh yeah, I guess if it can betray its owner, then it's a living artifact, then it can fight its own. True, Chris. Yeah, you're right. At a distance of just over 10 meters, the Pride armor covered the ground in two powerful strides, positioning itself in front of Ultraman with a broadsword, slashing down with deadly precision. Lato had a moment to utilize his navigator abilities and escape through the hidden passageway in the void. But the sight of the armor caught him off guard. He hadn't anticipated such a move. This hesitation cost him. The armor collided with him before he could vanish, and by then it was too late. The looming threat of being cleaved apart became imminent. In this circumstance, he was no earthworm with regenerative abilities. His fate seemed sealed. Facing the approaching silver-white armor and its raised broadsword of light, scales formed from starlight protruded from various parts of Lato. The air quivered as if an invisible tide was soaring. As per the intel gathered on April Fools, the power derived from the sea without the governor's authority corresponded to a sequence 5 at the most, known as Tide Scholar, the current state of Lato. Enveloped by the tide, Lato swung his fist, resembling a colossal wave. His formidable punch collided with the side of the broadsword, forcibly diverting its trajectory. But Lumine materialized behind him. I knew you'd teleport behind me and launch a sneak attack. Lato was ready. Evading the second attack, he imbued these surroundings with a warm hue purification halo. Even before that, the white light earring on Lumine's left... As the golden light surged towards Lumine, he twisted his left wrist. Even before that, the light earring on his left earlobe emitted a subtle glow, revealing various blobs of light and colors on Ultraman's body. Amongst them, a golden ball, the representation of the Halo ability. With a flick of his wrist, the ball detached from Ultraman's body and flew to Lumine. Lumine stole his Halo. The number of times the ring of the Sea Queen could steal after a standard process remained unknown to Lumine, but he was certain the stealing effect persisted for half a month. After the transformation of the light artifact on the ancestral altar, Lumine experimented with steel, honing his proficiency to ensure he could deploy it effectively, and so became adept at stealing. Became adept at stealing now, huh? Lie, Lumine, I know you were good at this before. Simultaneously, Ultraman's powers were well documented by the Tarot Club's information, making Lumion aware of what he aimed to steal this time. However, the challenge lay in his lack of experience in stealing a Priest of Light's ability. He feared that locating the corresponding symbol for the halo in the Holy Water creation may take too long, leaving him vulnerable. Anticipating the Pride Armor's frontal assault, Lumion teleported 4 to 5 meters behind Lotso, enticing him to use Halo. The distinction between the abilities Lumion used and those he refrained from were clear, providing him with an instant recognition. Before teleporting, he activated the Lie Earring and raised his left hand, ensuring he didn't linger. The halo, despite being stolen, persisted and continued to surge, enveloping Lumion. However, it didn't reach its intended target. A formidable force emanated from Lumion's body, acting as a barrier that thwarted the encroaching halo. The power of the sea. You have it and so do I. During the steal process, Lumion reserved a portion of the sea's power for himself. Though not on par with Ultraman, it proved sufficient to repel the halo for a moment. Calmly activating the mark on his shoulder, Lumion vanished, teleporting to the furthest corner from Lotso. The halo pursued relentlessly, but it reached its limit, weakening visibly. Witnessing this, Lumion harnessed the power of the sea again, watching the golden barrier dissipating. Meanwhile, Lotso's heart skipped a beat, intuitively sensing the loss of his halo ability. Lumion's item with the steal effect is still operational. Lotso couldn't dwell on it. Dodging the Pride Armor's heavy slashes, he fell to the ground, rolling to evade. Pure and blazing sunlight condensed rapidly, forming a thick ray that struck the silver-white armor. It paused momentarily, unable to penetrate, only burning and dissolving. Witnessing this, and recognizing Lumion as his adversary, Lotso, entertaining the idea of fleeing, he decided to engage, ceasing the confrontation and seeking an escape route. At that moment, instead of launching a barrage of attacks, the armor shifted its focus to Lumion. Lumion, who had utilized Spirit World Traversal on the ship before, found himself affected by the halo, his spirituality teetering on the brink of depletion, leaving him visibly fatigued and weakened. Any ordinary human in such a state near the armor would face indiscriminate attacks. Lotso keenly perceived the shift in dynamics. Though unaware of the specific, he sensed the advantage, redirecting his attention to Lumion. In the next instant, the armor raised its radiant broadsword and charged at Lumion. Your artifact has betrayed you, Lotso mocked, intending to exploit the armor's attack to create a holy water and sprinkle it on Lumion. Undeterred, Lumion took a step forward, tapping into his ascetic power and accumulating strength and spirituality. Replenishing his drained spirit, his body underwent a transformation, growing by 7 or 8 centimeters and bulking up 2 sizes. The Pride Armor stopped, pivoting back to Lotso. Lotso's pupils contracted. In an instant, it brought him to a halt. Naturally, his gaze locked on the unusually tall Lumion, who teleported right behind him, mere inches away. With a swoosh, Lumion swung his right hand, adorning the boxing gloves. Psych, gotcha, bitch. What you thought Bloodell was gonna get rolled twice? No. He's out for blood this time, baby. Let's go. Unperturbed by the close-range attacks, Lotso harbored concerns about Lumion's psychic piercing ability. Unable to dodge or employ other abilities, he unleashed a retaliatory fist resembling 1,000 tons of seawater. Bang! Lotso blocked Lumion's attack and rolled to the side, evading a surprise attack from the armor. At that moment, a strong sense of greed surged within, overshadowing his initial plan. Seizing the opportunity, Lumion retreated and pulled out a bone flute, Symphony of Hatred. While Lotso resisted the armor, Lumion brought the flute to his mouth and played an intense melody. Lotso's mind froze. Emotional detonation, blood oozing from the cracks in his scales. The pride armor struck Lato's shoulder, splintering scale, bone, and flesh. Closing the distance with 2 brisk strides, Lumion approached the nearly collapsed Lato and raised the flute in his hand. And in that moment, Lato used the pain from the armor to break free from the emotions. He witnessed Lumion thrusting the flute towards him. The flute pierced Lato's left eye. He stabbed him in the eye. Bro, that's disgusting. The eyeball of the April Fool's member exploded in a gruesome mix of blood and fluids. Even if the Symphony of Hatred only struck an ordinary part, it was a tantamount to hitting a vital point. Striking a true vital point either meant instant death or a prolonged period of social death. In this moment, his eye and brain were definitely vital points. His remaining eye widened and protruded, his life force draining. Lumion seized Ultraman's neck, lifting him up and releasing his right hand. As he held the bone-black flute, he delivered a slap to his face. Did you go back to Cordu to confirm the situation? Bro, imagine not only getting rolled, it's already sad enough. Imagine getting rolled, lifted by your neck, and then going, oh my god, it's so over. He was no true adversary, huh? Sag. Ultraman, with his life slipping away, fell into a daze. In the haze, he saw Juan, standing in the middle of the sea, waving with a mix of joy and mockery. Imagine you're dying, and some old man who's just been who you barely know is like, I gotcha, bitch, you get fucking rolled. At that moment, Lumion's voice resonated yet again. Did you go to Cordu Village? Cordu Village? The time Mad Lady and I visited Nolfi and went there just out of convenience? Lato lost focus. And with the intent to annoy, he spoke his last words in Highlander. I've been there with Mad Lady. It was simply for fun, but Loki seemed to have ulterior. Don't you want to know what happened back then? Sure, I'll speak in Highlander. It's your problem if you don't understand it. Your fault for not taking my language seriously. Lato knew the actions wouldn't practically affect Lumion, because Lumion could find someone to perform dream divination, or undergo a real dream where he returned, and could memorize the Highlander and find a way to translate it, but he just wanted to annoy him. Motives, Lato spoke, his final words. In that moment, Lumion spoke to him in Highlander. Thank you. The thank you flowed quite naturally, carrying a strong sense of mockery. And in that moment, Ultraman's eye bulged even more, his breathing coming to a halt. Lumion's right hand gripping the Symphony of Hatred once more. Simultaneously, he released the left hand, watching Ultraman's head rapidly detach from the bone flute sword. Thud. Ultraman collapsed. The sticky blood on the black flute coalesced and dripped onto the body. After the person, it's so perfect because he has been like, oh, you know, I want to learn Highlander so that no one knows I know it, and then I can like get an advantage. And it's been of no use because everyone's been just telling him the truth right up until now. Until right now, it just became. After the person who had backstabbed it suffered a fatal wound, the pride armor stopped moving and stood nearby, resembling an ordinary armor. Loki had ulterior motives, a motive other than helping the sinners and pull a prank? As Lumion recalled Ultraman's confession, he bent down to check what items he had. Of course, he didn't have much hope. Ultraman had disguised himself as the incoming governor to board the ship, carrying no items. His belongings should have been handed over to Mad Lady, allowing her to conceal them. This is one of the reasons Lumen could eliminate him, a powerful dual pathway beyonder so quickly. If Juan hadn't tipped off the sea spawn on the bridal boat before, Lumen would have been forced to stash his traveler bag with Mr. K. At that moment, Lumen observed a strange transformation in the corpse of Ultraman. It faded, morphing into a semi-translucent, semi-flesh state, like it was being disintegrated by countless tiny creatures, oozing onto the metal floor and vanished. Soon, the remnants of his flesh, starlight, and sun-like fragments left by Lato were absorbed by the metallic floor, leaving behind only a governor's ceremonial robe, shrouded in a faint grey-white fog. In the blink of an eye, the fog got absorbed by the floor too. Lumen unsuccessfully tried to claim something. Is this what it means to return to the sea? But why did it absorb the Priest of Light characteristic? Just as Lumen thought, the sound of metal grinding surrounded him. The pitch-black holes in the walls, ceilings, and floor once again got concealed by the rotating metal. No more blue gas spewed out, saving Lumen the energy to engulf his body in layers of crimson. Amidst the sound, 2 doors ascended, revealing 2 tunnels leading to different destinations. With the target of betrayal gone, the behemoth reverted to its normal state. Lumen peered into the depths of the tunnel ahead, his heart racing. In Port Santa, in the apartment Loki was hiding, Ludwig declared, "I am hungry," swiftly bowing his head and sinking his teeth into Loki's hands, devouring or gripping the gem bracelet as if devouring the marrow from a chicken leg. The pain surged through Loki's mind. The instinct was to deploy the paper figurine substitute. Yet he hesitated, fearing that such a move may create insurmountable distance between him and the art demigod. Amidst the gruesome symphony of bone crunching, Loki snatched the falling gemstone with his hand and pried it open with his mouth. A rush of air slammed into Ludwig's head, akin to a bullet fired from a steam rifle, ripping through his flesh and hair. But Ludwig remained unfazed, gnawing on Loki's hand. He had already severed 5 fingers and devoured half of the palm. He said, "Bro, you think I need a brain to eat? Nom nom nom." Air bullets pounded the boy, leaving him mangled and disfigured, yet Loki persisted. He had already crunched down the other party's wrist bone, a crisp sound echoing. Wait. If he's eaten part of Loki, that means he has his powers. So couldn't he just shift the fucking damage from his head to his foot or whatever? As Loki nearly blacked out from the pain, he understood what was happening. The demigod possessed incredible vitality. Ordinary attacks couldn't harm him significantly. In simpler terms, he could put him to sleep or manipulate spirit body threats to knock him out, but killing him proved incredibly challenging. In such circumstances, even if the demigod couldn't utilize any abilities, lacking sufficient strength and speed, merely devouring the other party's flesh and bones with all his might posed quite a challenge for many Beyonders. Loki abandoned the idea of retrieving other items and substituted himself with a paper figurine. Ludwig, his head covered in signs of air bullets and almost devoid of a human form, raised his head. Beside the bloodstained mouth was a piece of white paper that swept into his mouth. Ludwig's eyes reflected Loki's figure in the corner of the room. Something beneath his torn skin and flesh seemed to squirm, as if attempting to break free, but to no avail. Loki assessed the situation and the items are on him. With the sole assurer marionettist unable to return in time, he sensibly chose not to confront the demigod creature. He would flee first before considering the future. At that moment, a crimson moonlight steamed in through the window. The moonlight bathed the apartment, wrapping around Loki, and Loki heard a voice, a strong sense of blood. As the moonlight faded, the grayish-white and pitch-black paper figurine appeared on the ground. Loki's figure materialized a few hundred meters away, outside a vine forest. A boon bestowed by the celestial worthy during a prayer. It had been attached to a pre-prepared paper figurine, forming such a potent substitute that bordered on godhood. Blood still dripping from Loki's left wrist. He activated the diamond bracelet and swiftly faded away. Who do you think was that voice? I don't know. Port Santa. The soft patter of footsteps reverberated in Bard's ear, causing him to tense. Smell of blood and chasing Loki? Merrick? I don't know. Oh, wait. Emlyn? Emlyn! Smell of blood. Emlyn, it could be. Attempting to force open the door. Bart surveyed his surroundings, finding nothing amiss. He sprinted, weaving through multiple buildings, yet the footsteps persisted behind. Attempting to force open a door and seek refuge in a villager's house, Bard was met with an unexpected sight. Instead of a familiar kitchen tables and household items, his eyes beheld a decrepit stone platform. The stone platform. He had entered an illusion. He found himself back at the residence of the governor and the altar where Milo's inhabitants paid homage to their ancestors. Did you turn off the music? Oh, there you go. Something crawled out from a crack. A translucent worm adorned with multiple rings, swiftly expanding, turning into a young man with a monocle in place. Seated on a weathered platform, the man grinned. Do you comprehend? Bard understood the meaning. Understood. Since the altar had an owner and a Beyonder creature resided there, the so-called rule that could only be enchanted once a year clearly didn't hold true. The other party could have fixed the power as many times as it wanted. The young man, clad in a deputy host's sacrificial robe, toyed with the monocle on his eye. Over a millennia, I have molded the rule that the steel ability can only be conferred once a year. Little did I expect to deceive you all in the end. This motherfucker's got way too much time, bro. He's... This motherfucker is literally the definition of you being level 90 in a MMORPG and only hanging around the beginner island just to fuck with the new players. You're like, hey, listen, I'm pretty strong, okay? And if you go in that cave there, they're pretty easy boss. And then it has really high level gear. It'll make you really strong. Meanwhile, it's a fucking boss that you're not supposed to know about until you become a level 50 and you're just there to fuck with people. You're just tee, gotcha, bitch. He's so late game, but he only fucks with these people. What the fuck is this? Upon hearing the man's words, Bard felt the blood rush to his head. Crafting a seemingly valid rule over a millennia to deceive others? What a lame antique swindler is this? Bro, okay, listen, I may hate Amon, but he is the greatest swindler that has ever existed. This motherfucker is like, this is like some fucking street hustler coming across Bernie Madoff and saying like, he's a shit hustler anyway. Bro, Amon has forgotten more about swindling than you'll ever know, Bard. Shut the fuck up. You're not that guy, bro. Bard blurted out, "The patterns on the altar and the surrounding arrangements are fake." "If it wasn't real, would you have been deceived?" the man chuckled. "Furthermore, I only occasionally venture out. When I do, it grants steel powers on my behalf. Of course, with my spirituality produced by the surrounding worshippers, it can indeed only be bestowed once a year." Bard's forehead throbbed, feeling like he'd been mocked. According to the other party's claim that the steel power could be bestowed at will and the ring of the Sea Queen should have been complete and equipped with all its functions, so why did the ritual experience such a delay? Check the art channel once we change POV. Sounds good. Unable to comprehend, Bard turned around and sprinted. It wasn't that he hadn't considered begging for mercy or surrendering, but these things could be done later. For now, he wanted to take a gamble. Befitting that the other party's claim of occasionally venturing out was a lie. In essence, he believed he was trapped at the altar, unable to venture anywhere else. Bard reached the staircase in a few steps and ran up. The more he ran, the happier he became. The man didn't chase him. "I made the right bet. There's no way he can leave." Bard witnessed the scene of the first floor. Amidst his ecstasy, his thoughts shattered. He felt the darkness around him pierced by light, shattering into pieces. Bard bolted upright, alarmed to find himself lying in the servants' room in the governor's residence. He hadn't left at all. He probably just like stole the last 10 minutes from him or something just to fuck. Like, this guy's just fucking with him. I had a dream. Did it stem from a spirituality warning, helping me discover a problem? As Bard pondered this, he dismissed the corresponding judgment. No, how could I have fallen asleep during the ritual? Did I start dreaming? Bard rolled to his feet, slung his backpack over his shoulders, and pushed open the door. No longer smug with his plan, Bard realized he couldn't share in the distribution of items. He couldn't teleport away, nor return to his original appearance. Upon reaching the corridor, he noticed the little devils leaving the shadows and performing a strange celebration. You have to manually loop it on your end? Interesting. Okay, let's see if that fixes it. I just tried something on my end, okay? He hadn't communicated with these sea spawn and knew their intelligence was roughly equivalent to that of dogs. They could be tamed and controlled, but communication was beyond them. But the amazing thing was that they had the ability to record and recreate human words, even if they weren't sure of the meaning, but they could receive signals from their collaborators within 100 meters. The little devils ignored Bard as well. The ritual had indeed succeeded. Bard left their residence and realized that the guards at the entrance weren't kneeling to thank the boon like before. The villagers at the docks were the same. Apart from a few who sincerely shouted that the seed ritual had succeeded, the rest merely echoed what was happening. It was just a dream. The villagers' reactions were too exaggerated. I should know that based on the past experiences. Only a few people can sense the arrival of the boon. The others wouldn't notice, or the failure of the sea prayer ritual wouldn't have escaped the notice of the citizens. Bard used the environment to quickly confirm the essence of the encounter. He didn't dare relax, nor did he head again to the docks. He turned to the road, heading to the city district. Just as he stepped out of the village, he spotted a figure. A man standing over 2.4 meters tall, holding a thick staff. Gandalf. With the dream just now, he thought he had been exposed, so he didn't pull off any act. Gandalf was taken aback and just simply chuckled. You're really fake. You're not sure of my identity? Bardo's taken aback. Check art now. Nice. Nice. You're telling me he just left an avatar that he's like, fuck it. If anyone ever gets to it, we'll get there. If not, fuck it. It is what it is, boys. He left an avatar for 1,300 years to get Derek. True. Inside the spaceship. Having failed to capture Mad Lady twice, Mr. K's body underwent a sudden transformation, expanding to nearly 3 meters in height. Fortunately, he wasn't adorned in actual clothes. The cloak draped over him and morphed from his flesh and blood, or even the loose robes would have succumbed to the change. Concurrently, Mr. K's skin darkened, assuming the appearance of thick, formidable armor. Crooked goat horns adorned with sinister patterns sprouting from his head. A pair of bat-like wings encircled in crimson and blue flames. A pungent smell of sulfur hanging in the air. Being a Sequence 5 shepherd, Mr. K possessed the core ability of grazing, allowing him to fuse other people's soul with characteristics or boon powers and utilize them. Each shepherd could graze up to 7 souls, controlling only one at a time. In this state, they employed their beyonder abilities and 3 abilities corresponding to the souls. They were chosen during grazing and remained fixed. The most formidable aspect of shepherds was the ability to graze a demigod-level spirit. Presently, Mr. K was using a grazed devil, selecting Devil Transformation, Sulfur Fireball, and Sword of Lava. Mr. K deliberately chose to forego Devil's most distinct danger premonition because he believed it to be effective only when commanding the spirit. Under normal circumstances, he couldn't activate grazing continuously. In any case, if danger loomed, a divine revelation would be provided by God. Dude, say what you want, not my God, not my cult or whatever. The belief this motherfucker has to say, I couldn't be hurt. My lord would let me know in advance. It is only fools who must partake in that. I am shielded by the eternal light of my lord. As the expansive bat wings on Mr. K's back unfolded, light blue fireballs condensed. They indiscriminately bombarded every corner of the room, creating an all-encompassing barrage to counter her elusive flashes. The explosion, a mix of fire and poison, wreaked havoc on the metallic hive, tearing apart the insects, little devils, and other creatures. Mad Lady halted, cloaked in a blood-colored dress with grotesque flesh lumps on her face. An illusory, slowly flipping book materialized in her eyes. Drawing a dagger, she genuflected and drove it to the ground. Dawn-like light ascended, forming an almost invisible wall around her. Sequence 5 of the reader pathway? No, because the polymath has that ability, right? So she's probably like mysticism magistrate, I guess? Or no, she's a scribe. I'm an idiot. Sorry, she's a scribe. We know this. We know this. We know this. We've talked about this. Sorry. The shockwaves from this fireball's explosion, poisonous fireballs, struck the invisible barrier. This was the protection of his warrior, Sequence 5. record the core ability of a Sequence 6 scribe, allowing the recording of other abilities for use. Each recording could be used only once. After the shockwave subsided, Mr. K donned a blue-colored cloak resembling a colossal devil, wielding a broadsword composed of lava, surging at Mad Lady. The nearly invisible wall around her couldn't withstand the onslaught and shattered. As the book in her eyes flipped, a robust, sharp sword of dawn materialized in her hand. Clang! Mr. K's strike sent Mad Lady, lacking a warrior's physique, flying. Though Mr. K hadn't anticipated her determination to engage in close combat, the battle's tempo remained unaffected. Check COI artwork again? Okay. He advanced, wielding the sword of lava. Mad Lady, he had struck, thinned, transforming into a paper figurine. She reappeared behind the metal hive, her book flipping once again. She then stretched out her arms, allowing a pure, magnificent pillar of light to descend from the sky and strike Mr. K. Light of holiness. 3 more chapters, boys. Man, these are good fucking chapters, man. This feels like it should be a volume ender. After shifting, Mr. K shifted instantaneously, tapping into the traveler's soul. His eyes took on an otherworldly glow. His form faded in an instant. A white column surrounded by flames emerged. In the ensuing moment, Mr. K, stripped of his devil guise, materialized in a corner. His form liquefied. The secret suppliant pathway symbolized corruption, its influence curtailed by the sun. His half-melted flesh and blood cascading onto the floor, seeping in a bizarre manner. Soon it was absorbed by this spaceship Mad Lady had earlier detailed. Even Mr. K felt the weight of an unseen force, as if a hand pressed down. His attempts to extricate himself proved futile. He continued sinking. Mad Lady's eyes gleamed green, teleporting behind Mr. K. Despite his visage, Mr. K faced Lady without a trace of hair, without a trace of fear. His focus remained on the evil god's aura emanating from the hive. He switched the Grey's soul to an arbiter. 2 bolts of lightning gathered in his eyes, psychic piercing. Mad Lady refrained from teleporting. The book in her eyes flipped, revealing the kaleidoscope of colors of Mr. K's body and the shifting hues of light. Excitement illuminated on Mad Lady's face. She prepared to delicately twist it, steal. A sudden, intriguing notion captivated by Mad Lady's thoughts, she yearned to witness the aftermath of stealing the grazing ability from a shepherd. It was crucial to understand that her ability was limited to just one target, devoid of any connections to the abilities that came with it. In essence, after snatching the grazing ability, the soul characteristics and powers of the grazing influence would persist. In this state, Mad Lady pondered whether a shepherd would grapple with internal conflicts, the fusion of characteristics, or loss of control. She blinked near Mr. K, compelling him to switch Gray's souls. She keenly observed, eager to discern which light aligned with grazing. As for Mr. K's reaction, she cared little. Continue your fight, I continue my steal. Whoever dies first loses. Simultaneously, the floor saturated with Mr. K's flesh quivered. A previously concealed door withdrew, unveiling a passageway. A formidable suction force emanated from that direction. While her attempt to steal Mr. K's ability was underway, Mad Lady was propelled into the air. Meanwhile, Mr. K remained locked to the metal floor. Though his body swayed on the verge of being pulled, he held his ground. The face of the blood-colored wax streaked the Aurora Order Oracle. The enemy was on the verge of escape. The source of the evil god's corruption had revealed itself. Mr. K switched back to the corresponding devil spirit, summoning a broadsword, targeting his body attached to the metal floor. Beneath his calf, fresh flesh promptly separated from his main body, the incision undergoing a mesmerizing melding of half melting and half reforming. Having relinquished a portion of his flesh, Mr. K allowed pale white, moist, freshly formed limbs to squirm out from the stump. Concurrently, he harnessed the formidable suction force to pursue Mad Lady. In midair, he witnessed Lumion clutching the doorframe in a struggle against the suction, observing the motionless silver-white armor blending with the floor. Mad Lady surged ahead on the verge of flying past Lumion, with a wave of her right hand emitting a greeting like hello. Lumion's pupils constricted. Disregarding their precarious state, he harumphed. Two pale beams of light shot out from his nostrils, aimed at Mad Lady, but influenced by the force, they bent and plunged deeper into the tunnel. At that moment, Lumion's grip on the doorframe neared its breaking point. Faintly, he sensed the abundance of flesh and skin deep within the tunnel, intertwining to shape a colossal structure. Suspended in midair, fleshy ropes as thick as 2 or 3 adult arms extended, linking the distant walls and ceiling above. Whatever you did killed the room. I didn't even fucking do anything, dude. Just try rejoining if you can. If you can't, I'll make a new one. What you did earlier to fix the loop? I just looped it for me, bro. Thank you. The room didn't die, you just did. At that moment, the outlines of the pear-shaped object quivered and the indentations bulged and expanded. With this transformation, fragments of starlight spilled from the bird's nest, crushing into every cabin. This event resembled the prior two releases of the sea's power, yet lacked the grandeur and vastness, lacking the potential to rend anyone apart. Lumion could already envision the repetitive expulsion, understanding that this behemoth had amassed power capable of threatening the seal. Year after year, it required the extraction of this pressure. As the abundance of starlight scattered, the suctioned force dissipated. With 2 thuds, Mad Lady and Mr. K collided on the ground. One found herself in the tunnel leading to the bird nest, while the other lay in the silver hall where Lumion and Ultraman battled. Lumion released his grip, landing on the ground, fixated on the April Fool member. Mad Lady sprang up. Did you see that? Did you see that? That's an incubating deity. Yes, it should be a deity. Despite the fluctuations in her emotions, Mr. K sensed no sincerity in her tone. Her mention of deity sounded more like a powerful and terrifying monster. In that instant, Lumion materialized behind her, who promptly vanished, blinking closer to where the starlight had scattered. Lumion, sensing the danger, he hesitated to delve too deeply into the tunnel, avoiding the proximity to the flesh and blood he had vaguely seen before. Unimaginable horrors were certain to behold. But Mad Lady sprinted in that direction. She'll probably die, Lumion thought. As another second passed, Mr. K teleported in front of Lumion, pursuing Mad Lady. Lumion, who had often considered himself a bit eccentric, found himself yearning for a bit more normalcy from the duo ahead. While he comprehended Mr. K's choice and actions, rooted in an unwavering faith in God and the pursuit of divine will, Mad Lady's conduct exceeded his expectations. Drawing from I Know Someone's confessions and Mad Lady's previous behavior, he detected no signs of fanatical devotion. This raised a question. If she courted danger, how did she manage to survive to this day? If April Fools lacked the strict hierarchy and coordination seen in the Aurora Order, most of the time members operated independently. Protecting Mad Lady from the start allowed her to grow steadily. Could it be that I know someone had once overseen the treatment of her issues? After his demise, the problems exacerbated? Lumion formed a plausible hypothesis, but considering her conduct on the ship, her current state struck him as abnormal. On the ship, faced with the impending release of the power, through eager and seeking excitement, had an escape route. As long as she didn't delay until the last moment, she could teleport away. But now, whatever lurked in the tunnels made Lumion, despite his faint high level, uneasy. Yet Mad Lady persisted. Could there be a reason compelling her to make contact? He suspected that Mad Lady's actions may be part of CW's scheme. I can't let her and Celestial Worthy succeed. Besides, personally, I look forward to killing her myself. Lumion narrowed his eyes. However, preventing a traveler from reaching a specific location was nearly impossible. But an idea struck him. The peculiar structure's rejection of outsiders seems to have lifted, and with Lotso, a person possessing a potent sea bloodline, deceased, could I gain the authority as a governor and stop her? With that, Lumion embarked on his endeavor, activating the power of the sea within. Two more. By the way, Chris, do we need to do 591 through 600 yesterday? Dude, this is so fucking cool. Oh, or sorry, tomorrow? Dude, this is so fucking cool. Genuinely, I'm having so much fun reading this shit now. Yeah, do it yesterday. Okay. As Lumion's astral projection expanded with the power of the sea, he sensed the presence of the waters. Not a genuine ocean, but a fantastical sea created by starlight. Empowered by an ample power supply of the sea, Lumion's astral projection surged forth. A burning sensation radiated from the left side of his chest, as if a form of acknowledgement had been received. His consciousness expanded boundlessly, taking command of the dreamlike sea. In the course of this, he glimpsed the phantoms of Juan, Ultraman, and unfamiliar apparitions. Those who have returned to the sea. They have become droplets in the sea. The gray-silver behemoth harbored entities nurtured within the flesh and blood of the bird's nest. Black insects, devils, and other life forms. It was inevitable they coexisted in the spirit world, but this spirit world was entirely severed from the external realm. Consequently, Beyonders skilled in summoning creatures from the spirit world for assistance found themselves bereft of their primary reliance. Teleportation executed through the spirit world, however, retained some semblance of normalcy. Simultaneously, the closer one approached. The avenues were only through the energy passageway at the entrance or by breaching the outer walls to connect the inner and outer spirit worlds. Simultaneously, the closer one approached the flesh and blood's bird nest. The more peculiar the spirit world became. It was as though the air gradually thickened, almost becoming tangible. In such an environment, coupled with the absence of a flesh and blood bird's nest, Mad Lady found herself unable to teleport directly. Her only recourse was to blink incrementally, expending her spirituality with each maneuver. Having focused on Mad Lady in the space in front of her, Lumion extended his right hand and clenched it into a fist. The air surrounding Mad Lady grew dense, as if assuming a tangible form. This transformation caused the illusory curtain to bend, compressing the corresponding area. Once again, Mad Lady disappeared, but a formless force yanked her out and sent her plummeting. Under the authority of the governor, the spirit world within the sphere and the spirit world within the behemoth were separated. But this effect was contingent on a peculiar environment. In the external world, given Lumen's level and mastery, completely isolating an area from an expanse and genuine spirit world proved impossible. He could merely employ a cosmic void to create an exit path and a door symbolizing an escape route. Mad Lady attempted another blink, yet found herself unable to escape. She halted, contemplating her recorded abilities and the items in her possession. Observing her struggle, Lumen couldn't suppress his yearning for a demigod-level power. As the temporary authority-wielding governor, essentially a faux demigod incapable of withstanding a single spell from the Cinderella demigod, Lumen had ensnared Mad Lady inescapably. Mad Lady gazed into the depths of the metal tunnel representing the flesh and blood, her face aglow with eagerness. Confined within the sphere, she yearned for an escape. Head over there, quick, quick, I want to go! The longing in her heart intensified, nearly manifesting into a tangible desire. Mr. K, having switched over to a traveler's soul, caught up to her. Instinctively, a book materialized in his dark eyes. Positioned in front of Mr. K, the book flipped through its pages, chanting, "I came, I saw, I record." Mr. K instantly underwent a transformation, manifesting a 2 to 3 meter tall half-giant, brandishing a dark broadsword. Having grazed a traveler, he had selectively recorded 3 abilities: Brink, Record, and Traveler's Door, encompassing teleportation. Additionally, with Record, he had gained an ability capable of influencing godhood from a saint of the Aurora Order. With only half as effective as the original, it proved sufficient to contend with Mad Lady. Mr. K advanced confidently. At that moment, Mad Lady's chest, overwhelmed by desire, she underwent a sharp pain. She didn't need to lower her head. From the corner of her eye, she witnessed the flesh on her chest tearing apart, bones snapping, and a grey-white fog mingling with fragments of flesh surging forth, coalescing into a humanoid figure resembling her. In an instant, it leapt out from the sphere created by Lumion. Don't be in a hurry to leave. Unfazed by the situation, Mad Lady's face reflected excitement. What the fuck just happened there? What is that? Mr. K's broadsword went through the dark sphere, bisecting Mad Lady. Wearing the ring imbued with flesh and blood magic, Mad Lady didn't succumb immediately. Her 2 halves writhed, attempting to reunite, but all endeavors obliterated by the profound darkness. Come on, Mad Lady's relatively intact head sought to aid her body, but perceived the annihilation of her soul. Her vision darkened. Unperturbed by the fate of the member, Mr. K and Lumion redirected their focus on the grayish-white figure hurtling to the depths of the metal tunnel. Grayish-white figures, celestial worthies like aberration or something? The figure existed in a realm between reality and illusion. The temporary governor, Lumion once again honed in on the target, intending to marshal every ounce of power at his disposal. At that moment, the figure collapsed. The flesh and blood originally belonging to Mad Lady seeped into the floor. Abruptly, the entire tunnel trembled. Lumion saw the object yet again. The flesh membrane on its surface buckling, outlining a disc contour shape. The formidable suction force erupted. Whether Lumion, the temporary governor, or Mr. K found themselves irresistibly propelled to the depths, as if an invisible hand seized over them and drew them to the core. Mad Lady's corpse and her belongings soared into the air, propelled to the destination she had yearned for in life. The humanoid figure outlined by the grayish-white fog seeped deeper into the floor. In that moment, Lumion, wielding the temporary authority of the governor, employed his enhanced perception to see the bird nest. The pear-shaped object's flesh and skin caved in, and the starlight and dark matter emanating accelerated their flow. Though the taut skin and flesh, Lumion vaguely sensed the object, resembling a pitch-black vortex capable of devouring all color and light. What? A black hole. Lumion recalled a scientific concept his sister had once explained. Did the Abraham family ancestor seal a black hole with Amon? A black hole that had yet to fully form and still nurtured within the mother's body from a mystical So, So they sent in a black hole to try and just fucking destroy the Earth altogether, to just shatter the barrier, and they were like, fuck it, then we'll deal with it. What the fuck? Bro, those gods are genuinely some bums in the fourth epoch. Listen, I'll give the fucking Evernight a pass. Everyone else is genuinely shitting the bed with their brains. What the fuck are you idiots doing? Simultaneously, he sensed a connection between the black hole and another place. A terrifying, dense aura looming over the world. Oh, the black hole is just meant to destroy the fucking spiritual barrier. I see. Lumion teetered on the brink of losing consciousness. Not only was his physical form drawn to the bird nest, but even his thoughts converged to that direction. The same for Mr. K. One after another, Mad Lady's fragmented remains floated between them. Though the behemoth, Franka and the others felt an ominous suction emanating from that seabed, it seemed as though a colossal vortex was forming. The mountainous azure waves and jade green seawater collapsed, filling the seabed. The starlight descended from the sky. Madam Magician had arrived. Materializing in a deep black warlock robe, the wielder of the Major Arcana card extended her right hand towards the behemoth, her figure appearing in a state of overlap. Each starlight transformed into an illusory door, seemingly melding with the suction force, merging into the grey behemoth. She's gonna play the role of fucking Mr. Door. Hold on, she's cooking. Hold on. Can you become Mrs. Door? Is this possible? Can you become the god of this pathway? Is this doable? Fours? Bro, imagine Fours becomes the god of her pathway. Or I guess, can she be a god with a great old one? Nah, Klein needs her uniqueness, yeah. But Klein can't do some like, there was an error and there are two uniqueness. He can't do some bullshit like this? What the fucking, he can, that fucking bum can, why can't he? Yeah, no, he can have two sequences, yeah. She can have a king of angels, she can become a king of angels, I get that. Like, he can't do some like, there was an error. That motherfucker can be like, I can just envision fucking 6 more uniquenesses, oopsies. The surface of the behemoth ignited with illusory doors, casting a star-like brilliance. This seal, triggered by Madam Magician, no longer resided in a nadir due to celestial shifts. Starlight descended, repairing the temporary damage upon the seal. Inside the behemoth, half of the greyish-white fog comprising Mad Lady's form was absorbed by the metal floor. In that moment, starlight permeated the walls, floors, and ceiling, materializing the resplendent doors of various shapes. These doors manipulated the void, thwarting the menacing suction and expelling the fog. Abruptly, Lumion felt the suction force from the tunnel's depths dissipate. He saw the flesh and blood bird nest expanding again. The torrent surged through various parts of the behemoth. Envisioning unique. Yeah, it is crazy, right? Like, what the fuck? The torrent surged through the different parts of the behemoth like a flood. Lumion, Mr. K, and Mad Lady's remains and the items undulated in the sea's waves, propelled forward, encountering resistance and erosion. Meanwhile, the fleshless, corporeal greyish-white phantom swayed in the vast starlight. Unlike before, the sea's power did not erupt from the ocean's depths. Madam Magician had severed the energy passageway, resealing and reinforcing the seal. Madam Magician, her form seemingly illusory, raised her right hand and pointed at the ship and the betrothal ship and sailboat. The two ships, along with Hela and Franka, the Cinderella demigod, the humanoid artifact, the maidens of the sea, the remaining deputies, and the sailors vanished, instantly reappearing on a sunny, calm turquoise sea beyond the seal. Mountain Lake azure waves and jade green seawater slammed down, filling the underwater cavity. Madam Magician's gaze then shifted to Lumion, Mr. K, and Mad Lady's corpse, pride armor, and other items. Just as she was about to relocate them, Lumion, donning the boxing gloves, felt a dense, terrifying aura looking at him from another place. Lumion heard his bones shattering, his skull caving in, his ribs snapping. The fuck? His flesh compressing layer by layer. After unleashing the ascetic's accumulated strength, he, now taller, was instantly compressed into a short, thin, dense form. Damn, he's a short king. Pain flooding his mind as his brain began to contract. After a moment, Lumion broke free from the gaze and floated up to the gradually calming air. Damn. Whichever entity he fucked over with the black hole was really trying to just kill. He was trying to slime him out right there. Before Madam Magician, an illusory book flipped, emanating a faint glow full of vitality. It bathed Lumion's body in light, reconstructing his bones, swiftly enlarging his compressed flesh, rescuing him from his near-death state. Kami, ask me in a minute. Let me just finish, and then I'll answer, okay? Then Madam Magician tossed Mad Lady's gold ring embedded with the crimson gem to Lumion, allowing him to reassemble his flesh and blood and reappear and return to his original appearance. Simultaneously, in Port Santa, Loki's figure faded as he entered the spirit world, preparing to teleport away. But a formless barrier appeared in front of him, blocking his path. Loki's pupils dilated as he realized that at some point he had been ensnared in a dark, transparent sphere. High in the world, near the 7 pure lights, Madam Magician hovered. Damn, she's really trying to beat the fucking bum allegations all in one go. She said, I'm stopping a black hole, and I'm stopping this bitch from running away, and I'm giving you your shit to heal, all at the same time. Hold on, she's kind of she's cooking so hard. Loki's presence registered in her eyes, and an illusory book flipped before her. She had waited until the last moment to prevent Loki from receiving the Celestial Worthy's warning, providing her an opportunity to capture him alive. Loki's lips curled into a smile upon understanding the situation. His body erupted from the inside as if a self-controlled bomb had been embedded in his flesh. Loki's bizarre suicide succeeded, his flesh and blood splattering and his aura dissipating. Madam Magician lifted the seal on the area, capturing the information Loki had imprinted on the spirit world. The spirit world served as a repository for all information. Divinations often entailed revelations from the spirit world. As long as she found relevant information in time, Madam Magician could trace Loki to his resurrection spot and pinpoint the ancient castle documented in the Secret Order's records. Soon she obtained something. She vanished from the spirit world, navigating the endless darkness, appearing in the next moment in front of a vast grayish-white fog. Madam Magician halted, seeming at the seemingly endless expanse. Okay, you caught that, Kami, damn. I've been reading a lot, bro, come on. Come on. For my natural pace for COI to the shit I've been pulling in recent times, give me a break. We've read like damn near 100, 200 chapters in like fucking 2 weeks, okay? We're doing great shit. Under the silent, dusky sky, using Mad Lady's ring, Lumion adjusted his internal organs, flesh and bones to their original positions. Treading on the corporeal wind, Lumion removed the ring that enabled the use of flesh and blood magic and asked, "How's the situation on the other fronts?" Madam Magician smiled. Loki has been killed by me, but I couldn't prevent his resurrection or seize the opportunity to relocate his ancient castle. Bard has been captured by Gandalf, whom you intentionally sent to Milo Village, alive. Though he hadn't captured Loki, wasting one more of Loki's resurrections meant he had achieved his objectives. Furthermore, Ultraman and Mad Lady had been completely annihilated, and Bard captured alive. These results were satisfactory. Initially, Lumen hadn't confirmed Bard's identity, and didn't even know if he had participated in this ritual, but he had a few suspects, including the fake governor and Juan's grandson, Fernandez. Since most of the suspects were in the village, he had Gandalf monitor. Madam Magician continued, I relocated everyone else from these waters, sent Mr. K to the Aurora Order back to his rented room in Port Santa. Mad Lady's corpse and items are floating here. She opened her palm, shrouded in darkness, forming a small box. Inside, Mad Lady's dismembered corpse and other items had shrunk to the size of a mosquito's. Is it over? He asked. He had anticipated gaining control of the silver behemoth eventually. Otherwise, back then, even 2 kings of angels couldn't clean up that mess. How are we gonna handle it unless Mr. Fool himself awakens? Madam Magician replied. Too true. Even 2 kings of angels couldn't fix it. They only had to seal it. So just resealing that up is that's a huge win. True. Lumin recollected the items in his in the flesh and blood bird's nest and nodded. Is it true that sealed at the bottom is a black hole? Do you know what a black hole is? I do, Madam Magician chuckled. I also know the thing down there is a spaceship. Spaceship? No, yeah, I don't even know if it's arguable, Kami. Mr. Door is definitely one of the strongest kings of angels. Amon is Amon. Dude. Upon reflecting, he realized that the behemoths bore a striking resemblance to the spaceships described by his sister's bedtime stories. Madam Magician not only knew about spaceship, but also grasped the concept of a black hole. Never underestimate such individuals. The time-transcending knowledge possessed by transmigrators may not be foreign to them. At that moment, he noticed that Madam Magician's mystical flickering had vanished. She gazed at the seabed and explained it as a black hole ready to form. Yeah, Sasrier is he's a king of angels, so he is kind of interesting. Ready to form, personally crafted by an evil god, constantly absorbing surrounding matter and energy, strengthening itself, eventually becoming a true black hole. In the 4th epoch, the evil god seized an opportunity to send an embryonic black hole through the spaceship at the bottom of the ocean. The plan was for it to rapidly develop, tear apart, and devour our planet, causing the barrier to lose its support and disintegrate. True gods and angels could escape, but without the protection, who knows what would happen. Fortunately, Mr. Door and Amon discovered the threat in time and took action. They couldn't obliterate the already developing black hole, and any attempts to destroy or destabilize it would only make it stronger. The only viable solution was to seal it and wait for it to weaken through repeated radiations until it evaporates. Alternatively, they could transport it and the spaceship back into the cosmos, abandoning it. But this would require Mr. Door to leave the safety of the barrier and shadow the threat continuously to prevent accidents. Moreover, it remained under the vigilant gaze of that entity, which periodically replenished its energy through their connection. The danger was evident. Intrigued, he echoed a term, Mr. Door? It echoed a striking resemblance to Mr. Fool. Oh, which great old one do you think did this? Can it be like... Wasn't there a guy... wait. Supernova... Shit. Fuck, there was something. Supernova Dominator? That name seems kind of in line now. Yeah, that name seems kind of in line with this shit. Whoa, that's beautiful. You guessed correctly? Yay! Let's go! Scoreboard! Dude, that's beautiful. Time for the fucking, well, thumbnail change again? What the fuck? This is also beautiful. This is amazing. What the fuck? Thank you, Chris. Oh, that's awesome. This is fucking jokes though, Kami. Pretty sure Mother Tree of Desire was also involved because Mad Lady. Oh, I thought she was just genuinely losing her shit. Alright, boys. Uh, 2 hours, 10 chapters, nearly 10 minutes a chapter on average, nearly. Pretty good, dare I say so myself. I'll catch y'all tomorrow, hopefully. By the way, I'm sure I mentioned this, but definitely 100% no stream Thursday. I don't know, hopefully stream tomorrow, but definitely no stream Thursday, okay? Alright, that's it. I'll catch y'all later. Bye, guys.